So it seems like the activists are mad again. We have another story for Bud Light, and this one has to do with an LGBTQ activist that made a bold claim online recently because they apparently think that their community is the majority here, and they think the boycott's going to get outnumbered by the anger that has to do from the LGBTQ community, because all of a sudden they recently found out that the CEO of Anheuser-Busch has completely disavowed Dylan Mulvaney on their earnings call and said that they are not doing a campaign with Dylan Mulvaney. It was a one-time deal. That was it, and they're not going to do anything anymore. So apparently now the entire trans community is now up in arms, and they're angry. Why? Because they feel like their overlord, Dylan Mulvaney, has been completely ignored by a company that was supposedly virtue signaling to them and now has decided after going broke from it that they're not worth virtue signaling for. So what am I talking about? Well, we have an article here from the Daily Mail, and it says LGBTQ activist claims Bud Light will go extinct after its parent company distanced itself from Dylan Mulvaney controversy. They missed an opportunity to stand by their commitment to the trans community. Stacey Lentz says LGBTQ activists may join conservatives boycotting a company. Now, here's the best thing about this. It's always great when you can see both the opposite sides come together to hate the same thing. I haven't experienced this since we watched Velma together and everybody was just ransacking it. So we're going to get into this article, guys. But of course, before we do, consider giving this video a like so you can help push us out into the YouTube algorithm. It says Lentz says they'll go extinct if they are not fully on the side of equality. And that's the thing about this particular side of the aisle. They don't want you to hear them. They don't want you to have a conversation with them. They want you to get on your knees, bend the fucking knee, and do exactly what they tell you to do when they tell you to do it. Otherwise, they're going to try to cancel you any chance that they get. That's what this side is about. That's what this side has always been about. So don't get it ever twisted. It says a longtime LGBTQ plus activist believes Bud Light will face backlash from her community in the wake of the Dylan Mulvaney controversy. Mulvaney, 26, posted himself drinking Bud Light at the start of April 2023 using the hashtag Bud Light Partner. He posted the content to coincide with the NCAA March Madness tournament before joking he didn't know what sport he was promoting. I really fucking hate when these articles from Daily Mail, from all these show media websites, use certain language that is meant to keep them safe from potential cancellation from the same people who they're trying to have an article about. Like, just fucking admit you are using she, her pronouns because you know that the trans community is going to come after you if you don't. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter to me. Obviously, Dylan Mulvaney's even kept the same fucking name. So, of course, this dude is grifting hard on the trans community, making all the fucking money in the world. And you know what? I can't even blame the guy. I cannot blame him. He found his way to fame. He found his way to fortune. And he's going to ride it out for as long as he possibly can. He's going to make his millions and he's going to fucking retire with all that money off the backs of trans people. That's just the truth of it. Whether they want to believe that or not, they want to use him as some sort of martyr. By all means, you're more than welcome to do so. But at the end of the day, you are being used. And whether you see it or not, it is the fucking truth. You are being used by this man. It says the disastrous marketing bid has seen sales for the American flagship beer plummet 26%, despite Anheuser-Busch's reporting first quarter earnings of $1.65 billion, and with conservatives everywhere professing to boycott the company. Stacey Lentz, the co-owner of famous Stonewall Inn, where many suggest the modern LGBTQ movement began, expressed sympathy for Mulvaney in an interview and believes people like him may begin giving up their Bud Light. As far as marketing, I hope and think that they realize that as a brand, they will be extinct in a few years if they're not fully on the side of equality. And that is what the Gen Z consumer expects and demands, Lentz said. I don't even know if they understand what the fuck equality means. They really don't. They really, truly don't, because equality is not forcing everybody to bend the knee to your will. And that's exactly what this kind of person is trying to do. This kind of person is trying to convince you to bend the knee and do exactly what you're told when it comes to that community. Otherwise, in their words, you're going to go extinct. And here's the funny thing. They don't have enough people to make that threat. They don't have anywhere close to the amount of people to make that threat. And why the fuck is she talking about Gen Z when she looks 10 years from the fucking grave. Like, I don't understand. You are very clearly not a young person. You are very clearly not Gen Z. So why are you trying to talk about what Gen Z wants? You have no idea what Gen Z even wants. Gen Z doesn't know what the fuck they want half the time. It says she also told Newsweek that the brewery had missed an opportunity to stand by their commitment to the trans community by pandering to and giving into transphobic outcries. Okay, transphobic outcries. That's great. Fantastic. Stonewall Inn, the New York City haunt where the 1969 Stonewall riots launched, widely considered the beginning of the LGBTQ plus movement in the United States. The LGBTQ movement in yesterday is not the same as the one today. Activists from before that just wanted to have gay marriage and all that stuff and have the same rights afforded to them by getting gay marriage are not the same activists that are around today trying to find every little thing to complain about. It says the landmark is no stranger to controversy, with the brewer refusing to serve Bud Light during New York Pride in 2021 over Anheuser-Busch's donations to anti-LGBTQ politicians. Lenz also said this whole thing was not handled well, and she was caught in the middle of a horrible firestorm, showing concern over Mulvaney in the wake of the backlash. It comes as the company is seemingly facing outrage and potential boycott from all sides of the political spectrum. Good. That's exactly what needs to happen. They need to be boycotted by both sides. They need to be boycotted by the people they try to alienate, and they need to be boycotted by the people they try to pander to. That needs to happen because these companies need to stop getting political. And the reason why they get political is because they feel like it's going to garner them more money, more virtue signaling points, more likes and retweets, whatever the fuck it may be. They think that that's going to garner them more of an audience and more of a client base. They need to realize that they're fucking wrong. They're 100% wrong. Every time these companies do this, get woke, go broke, as cringy as that is a saying for a reason. And it's a saying for a reason because people are losing money left and right doing this shit, and they're not listening. They all keep doing the same exact thing. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results, and all of these companies are doing exactly that. Everybody does some woke shit, and then they look at the sales drop and they're like, what happened? Why did that drop? Everybody told us we were going to be rich off of this. Why is that not the case? It's because you're listening to Twitter. That's the issue. You're listening to Twitter and you're not listening to your customer base. If your customer is a whole bunch of woke retards, then by all means, pander to them. You should know who your client base is, Anheuser-Busch. You should be able to see sales analytics. You should be able to see the client base that you have. And obviously, if you did, you would realize that most of them are old and white. So why the fuck are you putting out trans stuff that obviously most people are not going to want to see? And I know you did it because, like the VP of marketing said, Alyssa, she said she did it to garner a younger client base. She did it because she thought that they need to start appearing to Gen Z and convincing them to drink that terrible beer Bud Light in the hopes that they will become long-time customers because the generation that's currently drinking Bud Light is going to die off in the next 10 to 20 years. So, yeah, for the longevity of the company, they do need to go after younger customers. Every company needs to go after younger customers if they're going to stick around for the long term. That's just the truth of it. But that doesn't mean that you alienate your current client base by going after a new client base, because now look at you. You pissed off both sides of the aisle and nobody wants to buy or drink your shitty ass beer. It says it comes as the company is seemingly facing outrage and potential boycott from all sides of the political spectrum, though largely centered around conservatives. Anheuser-Busch reported first quarter earnings of $1.65 billion, which topped Wall Street's expectation. At the end of the day, guys, you are losing a lot of money all because you wanted to pander to this guy right here. And you know what? You're not the only company, so I can't even be mad strictly at Bud Light. But you decided to join the woke companies. That's what you decided to do. And obviously, Dylan Mulvaney has a lot of partnerships, a lot of sponsorships, because he has a lot of followers. He has a lot of influence over young, stupid people. But apparently, that's not enough with certain brands. Just because you have followers and influencers doesn't mean that you can be an influencer for every single brand. There are some brands that market towards older clientele. Bud Light is one of them. So the last thing you would want to do is use a fucking person like Dylan Mulvaney to market your product. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.